Good afternoon and welcome to the Henry Hudson Regional School-Wide Poetry Out Loud Final Competition. My name is Ms. Porter and I am this year's host and representative for Poetry Out Loud. I teach middle school language arts and high school English here at Henry Hudson. I want to thank you all for being a part of our competition. William Wordsworth defined poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Today, our presenters give the opportunity to feel and reimagine that overflow. I'm excited to present a dynamic program that includes a variety of poetry personally selected by our students. Before we begin, I would like to thank our judges. High school history teacher, Mr. Feeney. Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Bobbles. Mrs. Merrigan, high school English teacher. I would also like to thank accuracy judge, Mr. Wingard. Our scorekeeper, Mr. Brian Gates. Our prompter, Mr. Corneliuson, and Mr. Allison and Juan for keeping our stage clean and school safe, and our film director and creator, Mr. Livingston, who has made holding our virtual competition possible. Good luck to all the contestants. First performing, we have Amanda Mcmillan. Amanda plays the piccolo. She is a writer. Her favorite color is red. And her favorite book is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt.
A dinner party, coffee, tea, sandwich or supper, all may be in their way pleasant, but to me, not one of them deserves the praise. That welcomer of newborn days, a breakfast merits ever-giving, cheerful notice we are living, another day refreshed by sleep, one its festival we keep. Now, although I would not slight those kindly words we use goodnight, yet parting words are words of sorrow and may not vie with sweet good morrow, with which again our friends we greet when in the breakfast room we meet, at the social table round, listening to the lively sound of those notes which never tire of urn or kettle by the fire. Sleepy Robert never hears of urn or kettle he appears, when all have finished one by one, dropping off and breakfast done. Yet he has to his own pleasure, his breakfast hours, his hour of leisure, and left alone he reads or muses, or else in idle mood he uses to sit and watch the venturous fly, where the sugar's piled high, clambering o'er the lumps so white, rocky cliffs of sweet delight. Thank you.
Our next performer is Lydia Smith. She has performed at Carnegie Hall and Radio City. She has also performed in an off-Broadway show. She also has 2 adoptive siblings, and her favorite book is Turtle in Paradise by Jennifer L. Holm.
Words by Pauli Murray. We are spendthrifts with words. We squander them, toss them like pennies in the air. Arrogant words, angry words, cruel words, comradely words, shy words, tiptoeing from mouth to ear. But the slowly wrought words of love and the thunderous words of heartbreak, those we hoard. Thank you.
Next up, we have Nicholas D'Antonio. Fun facts. Everybody knows who his brother is. He loves going on tropical vacations, and he has a 1-year-old pug named Bo. Nicholas's favorite book is Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt.
The Card Tables by Jera Showbrown. Stop playing. You do remember the card tables. Slick stick figures like men with low-cut fades, short but standing straight, because we bent them into weak display. What didn't we want? What wouldn't we claim? How perfectly each surface was made for throwing or dropping or slamming a necessary portion of our pay. And how did any of us get by with one in the way? Didn't that bare square ask to be played on, beaten in the head, then folded, and put away, all so we could call ourselves safe. Now that there was more room, a little more space,
Our next contestant is Daniel Nino. Danny loves theater and video games. He likes being called on in class, sometimes. His favorite book is The Keeper of Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger.
The Arrow and the Song by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I knew not where. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song? Long, long afterward in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found again in the heart of a friend. Thank you.
Performing next is KJ Scavaria. KJ is a Sagittarius. His favorite holiday is Halloween, and favorite flower is honeysuckle. His favorite book is the National Audubon Society Field Guide to Reptiles and Amphibians.
Dead Men Walking by William Logan. What did they desire, the dead who had returned? The sons who had inherited their estates pretended not to know them. The iron gates were welded shut, but soon the dead had learned. To hire lawyers practiced in the laws that bound the afterlife to lesser gods. The angels thundered on like piston rods, denying their gold wings to either cause. The city street lamps flared like learned ghosts, the moon turned red. Beneath a scrim of clouds, the Spanish moss draped the myrtle trees like shrouds. In politics, the guests became the hosts. Those days made angels of the better sort, the cases languished in the lower court. Thank you.
Performing her second poem is Amanda Mcmillan.
Eras Tyrannos by Edwin Arlington Robinson. She fears him and will always ask what fated her to choose him. She meets in his engaging mask all reasons to refuse him. But what she meets and what she fears are less than are the downward years, drawn slowly to the foamless wares of age, were she to lose him. Between a blurred sagacity that once had power to sound him, and love that will not let him be, the Judas that she found him, her pride assuages her almost, as if it were alone the cost. He sees that he will not be lost, and waits and looks around him. A sense of ocean and old trees envelops and allures him. Tradition, touching all he sees, beguiles and reassures him. And all her doubts of what he says are dimmed with what she knows of days, till even prejudice delays and fades, and she secures him. The falling leaf inaugurates the reign of her confusion. The pounding wave reverberates the dirge of her illusion. And home, where passion lived and died, becomes a place where she can hide, while all the town and harbor side vibrate with her seclusion. We tell you, tapping on our brows, the story as it should be, as if the story of a house were told or ever could be. We'll have no kindly veil between her visions and those we have seen, as if we guessed what hers have been or what they are or would be. Meanwhile, we do no harm, for they that with a God have striven, not hearing much of what we say, take what the God has given. Though like waves breaking it may be, or like a changed familiar tree, or like a stairway to the sea, or down the blind are driven. Thank you.
Performing her next poem is Lydia Smith.
Life by Edith Wharton. Life, like a marble block, is given to all. A blank, inchoate mass of years and days, whence one with ardent chisel swift essays. Some shape of strength or symmetry to call, one shatters it in bits to mend a wall. One, in a craftier hand the chisel lays, and one, to wake the mirth of Lesbia's gaze, carves it apace in toys fantastical. But least First is he who, with enchanted eyes, filled with high visions of fair shapes to be, muses which God he shall immortalize in the proud Parian's perpetuity, till twilight warns him from the punctual skies, that the night cometh wherein none shall see. Thank you.
We'll give our scorekeeper, Mr. Gates, a few minutes to tally up our scores. Thank you again to all of the contestants, judges, and the wonderful staff and students at Henry Hudson for making this possible. First and second place winners will receive Barnes & Noble gift cards. The results are in. The runner-up in second place is Amanda Mcmillan. And in first place, the winner who will be moving on to the regional competition at Count Basie Theater is Lydia Smith. Thank you again for viewing our program. Have a great day.